body's relaxing into this beautiful place to be. Let's allow ourselves permission to relax the muscles even deeper. It's like we're at one level of relaxation now. Is there a deeper level available? The intention today will be about playing with some of my favorite poses that really just help the body relax into a very beautiful, very deep space. And the word that I'm choosing to work with is tender. I would say an opposite word of tender would be tough. So if the options were being tender or being tough, when it comes to meat selection, most people love the tender meat. It just is more flavorful. It just works better. And when it comes to our body, being tender has a lot to do with the emotional state. It's like, rather than treating everything like it could be an enemy, that's that toughness, very defensive. Instead, it's like listening. And it's that quality of just softening into the experience. And so even if we do some strengthening things, and especially in our stretches today, let's try to see how much we can relax into the quality of tenderness. Just enjoying this beautiful chance to be here together, sharing our energy, sharing our practice. So from here, let's take some of our initial stretches. Arms can extend all the way to the back wall, and let the shoulders wiggle to the right. And shoulders wiggle to the left. Just a good stretch for the side ribs to help wake them up in our class. Beautiful. So we're turning the spine back through the middle. Let's hug our right knee into the chest. Hands can clasp around that knee. We can do some ankle rolls. Using some tightness there, like we're tenderizing that spot. Then to relax it. When you feel ready to extend leg up to sky, grab on, pull it in. Beautiful stretch for hamstring area. Good, I'm hearing some good deep breaths flowing. That also is super important for this very tender journey. Take another huge inhale. Nice exhale. Hook the right heel to the back left, hip opener. And then slide the shin in. How this area is receiving the stretch here. One more inhale. Nice exhale, we can release this leg, drop it down. Second knee into chest. Some nice ankle rolls. When it's ready to extend up to sky, let it happen. in the process of stretching muscles, helps the body become more tender. Like we're less hard because the muscles themselves are more willing to work with us. Okay, last side hip opener. Hook the left heel to back right, slide the shin in. Take another huge inhale. Nice exhale. Start to free this leg out. From here, start to sit the upper body up. We're going to head toward a vampire pose. So sit up so that we can get the fabric set in the right spot immediately behind the shoulders. What we do is we locate that back end of the fabric and we completely cover the shoulders like a cap sleeve. The elbows are out wide because that helps me capture the excess fabric. So place the fabric right across shoulders, cap sleeve style. Elbows slide the excess into the waist, and then we lay back. So head should be completely free, and you should only have one thin layer of fabric across shoulders. All the excess needs to be brought to the feet, so lift the, if the feet aren't in, step them in, lift the hips up, and then extending the legs out should help to get that excess down. Again, you should just have one thin layer over shoulders, completely safe. From there, hands grab left and right parts of fabric. We pike the feet up, and we push the feet into the fabric that's right above the hands to rise. So that lifts our hips up. I'll be around if anybody needs the help. Pushing the fabric. Everybody's in a almost like we have some bats in here. We could just fall asleep in this spot. You guys are awesome. don't we start to head out of this pose into a nice little mini Shavasana, with the caveat that I'll let you guys play with other variations of Shavasana, the vampire pose, as we go through class. So that's not it. We'll give you some more chances. But let yourself lay down flat. You can take the head back in if you like. Just enjoy a couple of breaths being right here. So nicely. This is that restorative pose, letting blood get back into the head in a normal way. As with all recovery poses, this is your way to communicate with me as well. So as long as you still need the recovery, just lay down. When you start to feel like you could potentially move on, you'll help me know by sitting up eventually. So no rush to, but when you feel ready to, go right ahead and head on up. Look. Those that are up, start to take some neck rolls. Roll the head over to the right shoulder. Roll the head to the left shoulder. Couple of easy cycles left and right. Helping the neck to release some of its tension. Take a little twist, so let's bunch up fabric towards front door. The shoulder closer to that back wall with the mountains painted. Allow that arm to extend or circle around the back side of the head. Another huge inhale here. Nice exhale. Release. Let's switch sides. So bunch up fabric toward back door. Get the arm closer to the painted mountain wall, opens up or circles around the back side of head. Another huge inhale. A nice exhale. Let's unwind the spine. We're going to end up sitting back inside, but I want us to be much closer to the front end, whereas Vampire took us closer to the back end. So grab onto the fabric, lift the hips up and out for a moment. And then immediately re-find the front of the fabric, wave it out. And for this one, only take like 2 or 3 grips. It's enough to cover the fabric up to your thighs when you sit up back in. Not a lot extra like we had before. So sitting in just to the front part. Beautiful. Now locate the fabric that's behind you. Find the end of it. And what you're going to do is take it with one hand over the head through the middle. And then once it's over the head in the center, you're going to hook your heels into that end of the fabric. And so this puts you in a nice forward fold. So try to let your back muscles relax. If you need to have slightly bent knees for helping the low back, that's okay. We're still pretty early on in class. Imagine that low back becoming more tender rather than tough. When it's tough, I imagine that's how we get that low back pain. This is easing us out of that tightness. Good. So the next transition, I'm going to show with keeping both of my heels inside, but know that if anything feels funky at all, you're perfectly safe to drop one foot down, do the transition, and then step the foot back in. So that's perfectly fine. The idea is I'm getting my elbows and my hands into the fabric at my sides, and then I'm slowly going to inch my glutes out of the fabric and allow my glutes to hang down while keeping the fabric caught right about at my shoulder blade height. So again, stepping one foot out and then just doing the fabric to be in the right spot and then stepping it back in is perfectly fine. That's the funky part, to get it past the glutes. So no stress, whatever you need to do. Once you're here though, rather than trying to hold on with the core, see if you can relax the glutes to just hang heavy. So no core effort at all. You got it. It's kind of funky. Just slide it past the glutes into the shoulder blades. Get the elbows in and shoulder blades in. So and as your elbows are out right now, get your elbows in. There you go. That's it. Yeah, get your elbows in and shoulder blades. You got it. Good. Michael, if it feels like you're falling out, step a foot up a moment and slip the fabric a little bit more under shoulder blades. There you go. That looks like a good spot right there. Okay, let's free the right foot out for a moment. We're going to do 3 slow leg lifts. So right foot lifts up, 3, and 2, and 1. Now bend the right knee and send the right knee across the body like a little twist over to the left. Good. Slide the right foot back into fabric. Left foot out, 3 lifts. So when you're ready, take 3. And it's okay if you take them after us if you're still transitioning. 2. And 1. Bend the knee. Cross the knee over the body. Nice inhale. Exhale. We're going to slide actually the left foot to floor for a moment. This will transition us to laying on the floor. The hands grip up high on each side, left and right. Slowly, softly slide your shoulder blades out and then slip the glutes to the floor. Don't completely let go of this end of the fabric because that's where that left toe is going to step into. So we've got right heel on one end, left heel on the other end. So Sally, you've got both feet together. Have instead one on one and each end. You got it. And in this, same thing, you've got both feet together, step one foot on each end instead. So you let go of the one end, that's where one of your feet goes. That's it. Yep. Okay. So then laying on our back, allow the feet to swing left and right a couple of times. Just feel how nice that is for the hip area. And then come back to stillness, hands on the floor by the hips. We're gonna take some bridge poses. So pushing the heels into the fabric, roll one vertebrae at a time up until the spine can't lift any higher. And then roll one vertebrae at a time all the way back down to the ground. We're gonna roll up with our breath. Inhale up, 9. Exhale back down. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. And 3. 2. This last one, try to stay lifted up at the high spot. And then 10 times the legs are going to swing wide and together like scissors. So here's 9 and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax the hips back down. Allow the legs to swing left and right a couple more times. Good. One last thing here, frog legs. So lift back up to that bridge pose. With the frog legs, we bend the knees out to the side and slide the glutes in and then straighten right back out. So that's 10. Let's go for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Rest the hips back down. Slip your right foot out. You can let go of that end. Right leg goes up to sky. Grab onto it. Notice if the left hip wants to try to rise up with us. Can you relax the left hip back to anchoring the right hand onto the right leg, slide the left hand to the hip, trying to keep that hip grounded on the floor. From there is allow that right leg to open out to the right as much as the hip doesn't need to lift off the floor of that left. So it might just be a foot or two. Some of us might be a little bit wider, but try the best you can to keep left hip on the floor. Good. Right leg travels back up to sky. Left hand grabs onto the outer calf. And then that right leg starts to cross over the body toward the left. This one is okay for right hip to be off the ground. You'll feel the outer thigh stretch. That's one of those spots that gets really tender. If you ever use rollers, oh, you use that roller on the IT band, oh, it's intense. This is helping us to tenderize it, just stretch and relax. Good. Okay, so right hip back to floor. Just slip the right heel into the spot where the left is right now. Left leg goes out. up to sky, grab onto it, pull it in. But remember to try to keep the hips on the ground. Okay, slip the right hand to the right hip to try to keep that side on the floor. Left hand helps the left leg open out any amount to left. Doesn't have to be far. If the hip starts to lift, try to keep it more grounded. Good. And leg back up. Press it over the body, maybe about a 45-degree angle to get into the IT band here. Inhale. Good exhale. Let's relax the hip back down. And then here, let's drop both feet onto the fabric. Let's do a little crunch to grab onto fabric. We're using that to help us come all the way up to stand. Okay. And we're going to try to use our core to flip directly into vampire pose. So this one can be a challenge. I'll show what you do if you get stuck and you can't get in. So come up to the front end of your fabric, wave it left and right. It's the mirror end. Good. For this time, you're going to keep a hold of that very center of the fabric that's on that front end. That part of fabric you're placing right at the base of your neck. So that helps you know that you're in the center. Like you have a little cape draping behind you. From here, both hands slide out and you cover across the front of the shoulders. So if you need to look at me, look at me. Good. You've got the shoulders covered. You're going to start leaning forward to put some pressure so that that stays. That little cap sleeve will stay covering your shoulders. Once you're leaning kind of halfway forward, hands can slide up, grabbing that long edge of the fabric left and right. Good. Once you've got that grip, so you need to actually have it hooked on your shoulders. Like no hands required for the hook. Okay, so once you have that left and right, hands grip up, you need to come under plumb line, so several steps backwards. And then the idea here is you bend your knees and you explosively jump the hips up into the sky and roll into vampire pose. Yep, we got a couple already. I'll show what to do if you get stuck and you can't get out. I'll lead you into vampire the other way, but I want you to give it a couple of tries. Good, give it a couple of tries, good. If you're in the right position, yes, yes. Doing good, it's okay. If you want to keep on trying, go right ahead. If you want to just head to vampire the normal way, wave it back out. This time grab a ton of fabric in your hands, like 7 or 8 grips. And then when you slip in, you'll go into vampire the normal way. So cover the shoulders. If there's any extra excess, work it down. And then grabbing high left and right, hike your feet up. Okay. So either way, we're ending up in vampire. Yeah, look at you. Good job. So if you haven't gotten into vampire the flip way yet, just take it the normal way. So come to sit. Well, I'll give you, perhaps if you have enough time, I'll give you another chance to practice the flip in again. So come in normal. So you need to take a lot of extra fabric in your hands when you sit inside. That way you don't have to do as much work to shift the fabric down to glutes. Okay, so cover the shoulders. Lay back. If you're in vampire, or if you're still setting up for vampire, let's roll out for a moment so we can cover up the feet. So the feet are inside that little excess of fabric. And then let's go back upside down. So hands grip left and right, hike the feet up, press the feet into the fabric to lift. And then from here, and you want the feet to be wrapped in fabric, so I shouldn't see any naked feet. And if you're confused at all, just watch first and then I'll come by and help. But what we're gonna play with here is going through this little cycle. Feet come together, we pike the feet forward into plow pose, we flatten out like we're gazing at the earth that we're flying over, and then hips go back over shoulders and pike the feet back up. So it's a little cycle, repeat over and over a couple of times. I'll help those who look like they're not quite in it. Not a lot. Yep. You don't have too much butter. Yeah, there you go. Cover it. Bring it up. Still have a lot. The struggle, the feet are probably not in the right spot. And it comes out. I don't want to yeah. Okay, so the amount of reps are up to you. Some of us have been upside down for a while. If you want to give yourself just some normal hang time, just being in vampire, that's okay. If any of you know the splits variation, you're welcome to play with that as well, giving the hamstrings a nice little stretch to each side. Okay. Let's start to head out. It'll be the same thing as before. If you need to lay down for a little while, that's okay. If you're pretty good quickly on, just sit up, that's okay. If you're still balancing left and right sides, take a moment to bring your body into good balance before you're out. Great. You need a couple more breaths here. Don't feel rushed out. Some of you are upside down for quite a while. If you're feeling good to exit, again, grab on through the outside, then lift the hips right up and out. Beautiful. So when we're here, let's take the fabric under our shoulder blades. Let's walk back to take all the slack out. And then we're just bringing our feet under plumb line. So for the back row, it's about where the shadow line is. I like to have my feet a little wide for this one. The knees are going to be nice and soft. So a little bit further back, Shoshana. Good, there you go. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'll show you one cycle first, is you imagine that you're like a hula hoop. So you circle your hips all the way forward and then all the way back. We're going to do 5 back to back, and we're going to try to stick together as a class. Sometimes it's good synchronization method. So we're going to circle in the direction that gets our hips to the front door first. So we're going to go 5 back to back. So when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go. 5 and 4, 3. Feel how this is loosening up that hip area. 2 and 1. Pause at the back. Good. We're going to take 5 to the other direction. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. 5 and 4. Even feel how the feet are getting a little massage. 3 and 2. 1 more. Pause at the back. Good. Extend the arms straight up to sky. And then walking the feet another step or 2 forward, take a little back bend. Another huge breath in. And out. And then bring the forearms up onto the fabric. Hands can be together above your head. Let's take the hips right under plumb line and then heel till the feet out nice and wide. From here, let's straighten the right leg. Straighten the left leg. Back to that wide stance. Drop the hands onto each inner knee and try to see if the hamstring can help the hips open up just a little wider. One more huge inhale. Exhale. Grabbing back onto the fabric, heel till the feet back together in front of us. And then straightening the legs, walk yourself backwards to stand all the way up. Flip the fabric out in front. Let's take a couple of little stretches for the legs. So right thigh inside. And make sure you're not super far behind plumb line. When you gaze up, your head should be like 2 or 3 inches behind those metal pieces. So from here, flat hands high, thumbs hug around. Let's sink the weight forward. Notice what you're feeling. Are you tenderizing through that back calf? Are you in that left psoas, front of hip? both hands over to the left strand. Rotate the standing toes to left. Open the arms, perhaps left and right. You can push your tricep into the fabric to help the torso stay upright. Good. Hands return onto fabric. Squeeze inner thighs together. Slip fabric down to ankle. Still facing the back door and still grabbing just onto the left strand. Slide the right hand down, the left hand up. For a lot of people, this is enough stretch, so no need to go further, but if you want more of a side splits, let a little bit of weight sink to mirror. Have the top hand grabbing fabric like a triangle. That helps you. So both hands, there you go. Both hands grabbing fabric, just like that. Good. Any weight that we took forward, bring back over standing leg. Grip one hand on each side of fabric. Face forward again. And then any amount of splits forward. Okay, we're gonna switch to second side. So you can either step this foot out, step the other one in, or the swinging switch, just make sure the right leg's locked straight before you step the second foot in, the first foot out. You got it, slip to the thigh. Flat hands high, make sure you didn't end up too far behind the plumb line. So just sink your weight forward. Tenderizing through hip and calf. Both hands grab onto right side. Standing toes turn to the right. You don't have to open up arms, but warrior two arms is appropriate here. Weight sinking toward front of room. Good. Hands return, weight comes back. Let's slip the fabric down to ankle. Still facing toward front door. We're still gripping on just the right side. Right hand up, left hand down. This can be like a triangle pose if you stay with weight over leg, or you can sink to side splits. Any amount. Okay, weight back over standing leg, grip one hand on each side. Turn your standing toes forward. And then any amount sinking forward to splits. Huge inhale, nice exhale. And let's rise up, take the leg out. So we've done vampire pose twice at this point. I'll give us time for another inversion. There might be some people who want a third vampire, that's okay. If you want a different inversion, you could take perhaps hip hang. Taking fabric across hips, go down, let the hips relax. You could take the straddle back inversion where the fabric's behind your sacrum, and then you let yourself wind the legs around. So there's lots of inversions you could take, even a different one if you know one, that's fine. But whatever inversion feels the best for the body at this moment, go ahead and take it. Shoshana, switch your fingers around so that it's just your thumbs, and that's it. Good. So not under sitting bones, on the seat. Okay. That's it. Good. Know that you have my permission to do this inversion as long as you want. Some of us might be here just 30 more seconds. Some of us might be here like 5 more minutes. That's okay. This will be the last thing prior to Shavasana. So at any point that you feel ready to start transitioning to Shavasana, you're welcome to slowly head out and go into that Shavasana. No rush to get there necessarily. Let yourself recover, lots of time. You're in that Shavasana sooner or later, no rush still. Just let yourself kind of be tender with emotions and with sensations that are going on. So often we're judgmental, and that's kind of the hardest thing we could do with emotions. Like, what if anything that we're feeling, we're meant to feel, we're meant to experience the whole spectrum of feelings while we're alive. Even just giving each emotion even 5 minutes of our time, and how many emotions can we not give them, even that much? Just breathing, relaxing, just opening our heart to feel. Be here for several more minutes, just relax and breathe. And here, let's begin to deepen our inhales. Deepen our exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really good. You might be extending arms to the back wall, or it might be the fetal position. In fetal position, make sure to give your spine time to do it to both sides. Eventually coming up to a comfortable seated place when you're balanced, no rush. Eventually, as we're up, we'll take hands to heart, reconnecting to that idea of being a little bit more tender, giving ourselves permission that we don't have to immediately be reactive when something appears offensive. We can take things with a grain of salt sometimes. And being tender and really feeling our feelings. And being tender in the aspect of kindness for those around us, even extra kind. So with all this to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time that we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, and happiness, and peace. Namaste.